Welcome to Dear Fans. I'm going to be completely honest, here we have got confirmation of what is one of the worst things that happened to Caitlin Clark before the WNBA season started. And it is confirmation that AJ Wilson, who was at the time prior to Caitlin Clark the face of the WNBA, sent an angry towards a 22-year-old and knew exactly what she was doing. And by the way, I'm going to answer every question. Here was tweeting the second Clark Steele got announced what's delayed is not denied, and then made this whole thing about him, then started posting about how basically people of color will never get these opportunities while whatever posting that, and a lot of people thought, oh, she was posting that in order to get a signature shoe because it did get pushed a few weeks later. Not only was that not true, she has confirmed she had to keep it secret for almost 2 years. So for almost 2 years she knew about this, so by the way, and if you want to say that she didn't send an angry mob towards her, yes, she did, yes. She even had teammates, even future Caitlin Clark teammates, saying, I might get a shoot before AJ Wilson at this rate. And I don't really care about the players going on about it, but she doesn't have to. And if you say, oh, she is an NDA, there is nobody, and no NDA that makes it so that you have to pretend you have to play victim and pretend you don't have a shoe. When you have one coming, you have to stay silent. You don't have to, especially when you saw what was happening. You saw that every single thing. You saw that all of this was just generating hate towards a 22-year-old who, by the way, had never played a game at this stage. She was a 22-year-old who never played a game. A 22-year-old, you are nearly 30 years old. You're nearly 30 years old. Knowingly sending an angry mob towards a 22-year-old player is as awful. That's just awful. And by the way, AJ Wilson deserved the shoe. She's best. She was the best player in the world. I think last season the was the best player last season, but the previous season, I think AJ Wilson probably should have won MVP and Finals MVP. I think the unanimous MVP was probably a get back from her not getting an MVP that she deserved, and finishing third place with a 4-place vote in an MVP she probably deserved. So I've got no question about that. She deserved a shoe. She deserved one before Sabrina, and yes, Sabrina and SAHOO did not deserve a shoe. Sabrina got that shoe because of her ties with Kobe. That is why she got that shoe. That's why they probably gave her the Kobe line. If you guys saw the way to Greer's shoes, where with the way before Kobe's death, they were releasing new Kobes every year. They definitely had a bunch of Kobe designs ready to be released and gave them to Sabrina and SAHOO. I'm almost certain that Nike did that. They just basically used her as a successor to the Kobe line because of her relationship with Kobe. That's why she got that shoe first, but AJ Wilson should have had a signed shoe. It's harder to get one with Nike. If she was with any other shoe brand, she would have already had one, but the fact is that now you've got that's aside the point. Nobody is questioning her ability as a basketball player. If you have AJ Wilson ranked lower than 3 in the world, you are crazy with how Stewie's been playing the last. Well, no, Stewie's not in that conversation, and you could say it's between her and Fee, and then you could say, oh, Kate Clark is going to be better, but that's an assumption. At this point in time, Kit Clark is not better than AJ Wilson, but you can argue her and Nisa Key are the best player in the world. I'm going to argue Fee if you were AIA. I don't care, it's a close enough one. They're both unbelievable what they do. AIA is the most dominant female basketball player in the world at the minute. But I just prefer the way Fee plays basketball, and I think it's easier to build around Fee just because I think she does everything. She just everything's within the offense. Either way, though, it doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. And now we have got proof that AJ Wills didn't look. I've always said this, I can always put aside personal biases when I'm talking about basketball. AJ Wilson's a fantastic basketball player. Her shoes are great. I might depending on how they're reviewed, I might buy a pair. I think they look good. I don't give a damn whose face is on the shoe. I might legitimately buy a better play-in because since my Achilles injury, I kind of have to play in either Kobe 9 elite type boxing shoes, or I have to play in low type shoes, and they actually look good. They genuinely look really good. So I can be objective in that regard, but it doesn't mean that what AJ Wilson did was right. It was just objectively wrong on a human level. Basketball at this stage, on a human level, this is wrong. So she knew she was getting a shoe for 2 years, still pretend like she wasn't when they announced 22 shoe, leading to the hate train against a rookie for no reason. Yeah, that's the thing, by the way, the hate train might have happened anyway, but it quadruple like what her pretending that it was like she had been slighted and all this, and you could argue maybe she was slighted by Sabrina getting one before. But that's not doesn't give you an excuse to take it out a 22-year-old people offender saying she an NDA, she should have kept a whore, should not tweet trying to play the victim and make them attack a rookie 2 years, and Southeast fanbase I don't really care, for 2 years Media went to war for age over not having her own shoe. Meanwhile, she knew she had her own shoe. Don't listen to WNBA media saying, especially the ones we got here, the ones who just got here are the ones calling out AJ Wilson for this nonsense. Like, that's the thing, she threw out the whole privilege card. She played the race card, like, and I don't like saying that, but it's a fact, like a no way unanimous. MVP knew for 2 years she a shoe deal started hat trading. As a rookie player, the T. Or, by the way, her teammates a ban in the locker room, because Alicia Clark got a max, Tiffany Hayes got a max, and Sydney Coulson literally only cares about championships as aren't going to win a championship. Like, that's the reason. It was nothing to do with they all like, and there's no personal against it from what we've seen, like there might be, but from what like to assume that is completely wrong, but that's awful. Like, if you're agent and you're under NDA, you can't exactly come and tell everyone, but yo EAS up on Caitlyn, I've got to come tell everyone yo EAS up on CA, gotta show work what you can do is go back to your channels, to your little minions, and tell them that ease up and private you can't do that, because we know what they'd say. You know what you can do, no tweet anything, no, don't pour fire, don't pour gasoline on the flame. And that's what she did, she poured gasoline on the flame, and they attacked the 22-year-old, they attacked the 22-year-old, and then she continued to tweet pouring gasoline on the flame, knowing she had a shoe for a year in advance. You know what you can do, if you can't tell anybody, you can call your freaking rep at Nike if you're a decent person, and go, yo, we have to announce this, the way. Like 10 days later, when she announced the of course, I have a, not even 10 days, was it 2 weeks later, she announced the of course, I have a shoe, like she announced the whole like of course I have a shoe doc was the whole thing. And the craziest part is that Nike, by the way, right before they announced Kate Clark's deal, they had like these futuristic prototype shoes for their signature athletes. AJ Wilson was on that. It was like for future signature athletes, AIA was on that. So it doesn't take a rocket science to see that Nike, before all this happened, posted a future signature shoe, like kind of futuristic AI thing, like did all of that, and AJ Wilson's name was there. So everyone that right mind knew AJ Wilson was about to have a S. I remember I tweeted that out at the time. And I'm like, they've literally made a mock AI like signature shoe for AJ Wilson and had it be public. It's like, of course she has a shoe. And then they waited, what was it, a couple of weeks to release the of course I have a shoe.com. So AJ Wilson used all the true a damn pity party in order to hype up her own shoe. Like, simply put, like, that's horrible, because a good person would have seen all this, even if they can't say anything, not even to defend a 22-year-old, because in fairness, AIA Wilson seemingly was pissed at the Caitlin Clark got her shoe deal too. She was pissed that she got the shoe deal, evidently by the tweets. I could be wrong, but based on her tweets, that is the opinion that I have based off solely of her tweets. Again, I'm not saying for a fact, but that is what I would think has happened. But now you've got a situation where she said she's known for 2 years, and 2 weeks later the of course I have a shoe was released with all of her shoe, all of her things. Why not just call up Nike? And instead of playing the freaking victim, playing a victim, all you have to do is call up Nike or Nike reps, get your agent to say it, and be like, look, can I do this? Can we wait a few seconds, a few days? And can we announce that I'm getting a shoe? Because everyone is like, it's a hot topic, me getting a shoe right now. And because of this hot topic, they're like attacking a 22-year-old. So can I just announce that I'm getting a shoe in the future, so that there's a lot of hype there? It's good for me, and it takes some the heat off of 22-year-old, but no, instead of doing that, and that's probably, to be fair, that's probably the best thing she could do. There's no way she could have stopped all the hate towards Caitlyn. I'm not expecting she's not a miracle worker. She's not a miracle worker, just like Caitlin Clark's not responsible for hate towards everyone else. AJ Wilson is not responsible for hate towards Caitlin Clark, except for the fact she poured glass on the fire. She poured freaking gasoline on the fire and made it 100 times worse than it could have been. And then let's not forget so many other crap AJ Wilson said throughout the year about Caitlin Clark, like about Caitlin Clark and Caitlin Clark fans and new fans. Like, that's just the fact that like everybody speculated that she already knew, and now she's admitted she already knew this. A horrible look from AJ Wilson. Look, AJ Wilson is a great basketball player. I don't like it's very evident at this channel, like, and by the way, I don't Claimed to know Angel Wilson on a personal level. The per like the what AJ Wilson portrays herself publicly as. I don't like that. I don't like it at all, because again, behind scenes and how people prescribe themselves publicly are two completely different things, is to completely different people. So I'm never going to go and say she's a bad person, but the she has the AE of Wilson persona has done a lot of some, well, has done one absolutely horrible thing, borderline unforgivable thing towards a 22-year-old, and now she basically just admitted that she did it. It's not the greatest look in the world, but anyway, I'll see you guys. Like this video and subscribe this channel. Thank you.